inside a cramped ice cave barely 1,000 square feet. More than 30 belugas had been trapped for 5 long months. Everywhere they looked, there was nothing but endless frozen wilderness. A prison of ice slowly wearing down their will to survive. Their only breathing hole had become the thin line separating them from death. Belugas can dive deep to hunt, but as mammals, they must surface every 15 minutes to breathe. Yet within a 30-kilometer radius, the brutal cold had sealed every other breathing hole shut. Even worse, every fish and shrimp nearby had already been eaten clean. Exhausted as they were, the belugas still had to lunge upward again and again to keep that single breathing hole from freezing over completely. At this point, their only hope was to wait for the seasons to turn. When spring finally returned to the northern hemisphere, temperatures crept back above freezing. The once solid sea ice began to melt, opening a narrow but life-saving passage that brought the belugas a glimmer of freedom and hope. But spring carried its own dangers. As tides and currents slammed against the ice, huge sheets of sea ice broke apart and drifted, forming a shifting maze of moving ice floes. At any moment, these slabs could close in and seal off the belugas' breathing hole entirely, leaving them to drown. Using their incredibly precise sonar, the beluga pod tried to navigate this floating labyrinth in search of an escape route. Eventually, they discovered a temporary stretch of open water where they could take refuge. In a twist of fate, a group of narwhals had also gathered there to shelter. Despite their obvious physical differences, the two species recognized a deep, instinctive kinship. In this critical moment, they exchanged signals, then set out together on their desperate journey to freedom. When they finally reached ice-free waters, the belugas bid farewell to their new companions and continued toward the open sea. After traveling hundreds of kilometers, they at last reached a stretch of wide, unobstructed ocean. But here, an even greater danger was waiting for them.